Blessings to every single one of you out there. Welcome back to another episode of the Life We Chose podcast.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, Kim, I'm excited. Honestly, we're going to be excited for every episode, apparently.
Most definitely.
Excitement is definitely like our core emotion.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. Especially being it like, the earlier episodes. I think that, this is an exciting time for us to be joining together. Not that we aren't always like,
we're joining together with company.
Yes,
really,
with the people. Inviting you guys to the couch, sitting down, having conversations with us. This is something like we said before we do on a regular basis, but it's exciting to have you guys be a part of these very intricate conversations about life and our journey as entrepreneurs, creatives, and just overall human beings.
Absolutely. So just like every single podcast, we're going to start off by saying thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Thank you for following on social media if you do that too, or or sharing it with a friend. Whatever you do that basically encourages us, and we're here to encourage you. Like, it means the world to us.
Yeah, for sure. And just so you know, you can find us on YouTube and any audio streaming platform for podcasts. So choose your favorite one and be sure to tune in.
Yeah, for sure. I think that when we were talking about the kind of episodes that we would talk about on the show, this was probably one of the first ones that came to mind. Yeah. Right? Because it felt like it was like something we got to lay the foundation for in a bit.
Oh, definitely.
And we wanted to have a conversation about faith.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's such a broad statement. You know what I mean?
It can mean so much.
It can mean so many different things. But like, it's I think that it's been so crucially important for me to kind of lay that foundation whenever I talk to some people.
Yeah.
Because like, as artists, they'll walk up to me, right? Artists will walk up to me and they'll ask me about things. They'll be like, oh, how do you do this? Or how do you do that? Or like, how'd you whatever?
Yeah.
And my first question to you is, do you believe in God?
That could be weighted for a lot of people.
I know it could be. It's wild. But if somebody walks up to me and they're like, hey, I really wanted to do this thing and like, I just don't know what's going on. Like, I'm like, imposter syndrome, whatever. Like, I'm like, do you believe in God? Because like where am I working? Like where are we at on the spectrum? So I can kind of understand it a bit. Yeah. But it's because like my faith guides my creativity. I feel like my faith is my creativity or part of it or connected to it. I don't really know how to even articulate that, but they're infused. Yeah. There is a synergy between that and like my ability to make things, you know? So I feel like it's important. Like, what do you...
I mean, I definitely 100% agree. I'm a firm believer in, a lot of things are written before we're even walking into them, and I think, faith for us is just really just knowing that and trusting that and being in a space where, you can create plans, but also allow life to happen and maneuver through that and trust in that process. I think faith a lot of times is being open to the experience of both sides. A lot of people believe when things are good, and then when things are bad, it's like, why God?
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
Yeah. Like what why me? Like,
because God's a genie.
Yo.
Like,
he is a magician.
You know what I'm saying? Grants all of my wishes.
Yes. So I think, being very, very open and receptive to life and just being in a space of understanding that there's a lot to be learned throughout the process of everything is a major part of faith. And and understanding that, all of the journey is a part of the process.
Yeah, for
not
sure.
Not just the pieces you like.
Do you believe in God?
Oh, 100%.
What does that mean to you?
God means, it just means trusting that, everything is happening for a reason. It means trusting that, that there's an energy working in your favor. There's an energy here to teach you, to work through you, to allow you to be the creative or to be the person that you are. Yeah. And just moving in that space and feeling like, what am I trying to say here? Just being able to trust that, there's something bigger than you happening that you're a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like larger than life kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's because it's like to be so early in the podcast and you're like, you're gonna talk about God. I want you to know now that that's gonna come up in this. It's like there's no way we're gonna be able to sit down and have a conversation without talking about God.
I don't think any podcast episode will not have at least some mention.
At least some mention.
Because we already did it the first episode.
Yeah, we already did it the first one. Yeah,
it's
already, it's not happening. It's not happening. And that's like, you shouldn't live your life like that, by the way, too. You should, because part of this is us finding our tribe. So it's like, but it's like, it's also in this vein where it's like, I think it's when you say like, do you believe in God, or like when you talk about like source, universe, whatever you want to call it, there's a lot of connotations to that. There's a lot of connotations in the sense where it's like, I didn't like, do you believe in God? Like, okay. And then like your response to that is going to be completely different than the response somebody else is going to give.
Yeah.
So like, I want to add this context just simply because it's like, we think of God as the everything, as the all.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you think of something that is much bigger than you, it can give you power.
Yeah.
It could give you a sense of power because like some way, somehow, you know that you're connected to the bigger thing.
Yeah.
So that makes you as the smaller thing still infinitely powerful, So it's like I guess there's a bit of a catch-22 in that. But I always ask people that because it's like the thing about God is that you can't see her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can't see her. Like it's not like a tangible,
Yeah, nah.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna just go over there and say what's up, I mean, and that be what it is. But it's like that's kind of the level of delusion in a way that you have to have when it comes to chasing a dream, because it's something that you can't see.
Yes.
Right. So like, if you're starting off and you have a belief in God, I'm already saying to myself, oh, you can believe in things that you don't see.
Yes. Ooh. Yeah.
And when you do that, I'm just like, okay, cool. That's a great foundation to start off with.
Yes.
Because the thing is like who I am, I'm not talking about like the words that I'm saying or the things that I'm doing today isn't about present Queena.
Yeah.
It's about future Queena, a version of me that I haven't seen yet that I want to exist, you know? So I think it's kind of like in that vein. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I hope that like
100%. Yeah.
I hope that makes sense.
100%. I actually thought when you were saying like, people perceive God in different ways that you were going to dive into, just a world of, I guess religion and things of that nature, because I think that there's like very specific angles that people look at God and the way that they build a relationship with God, whether it's unique to, your own developed relationship or it's unique to, an outside religion or faiths that were passed down to you. They can also like really shape and I guess define the way that you think of or perceive God to be.
Yeah.
And I think that, it can be kind of strange to have a conversation that starts that way because a lot of people have their own, I guess their own identity crisis when it comes to,
and also their own interpretation. So when I say to themselves, "Do you believe in God?"
What does that feel like?
What does that feel like to you? What is that?
A negative connotation just because of like, just the outside world and how they perceive you to be as a person in a church or
am I religious? Am I like whatever? Like you don't know what I'm asking.
Is my God your God? Is
the same
God,
thing.
God? Like
Nope, none of that.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to gather, and maybe there's another way to ask it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the only thing I want to gather is, do you believe in something that you can't see? That is like, that doesn't match logic.
Yeah.
That doesn't like fall into line with like science or
like
what neatly
like
that's what I mean though. So it's like, it's hard because like God is one of the easiest ways that I can be like, okay, this is something that's contested and controversial and like question marks and whatever. Do you believe in something that's like, whew, like almost in a way, like because you can't see it, it's like it's fantasy. It's like, do you believe in this like thing that just doesn't, that doesn't show itself in the way that you see other things?
Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions? Do you think I could ask that differently?
I think what you said was a nice alternative, but I actually like the fact that you start with it. It's like kind of almost jarring.
Yeah, a little, right?
I wanted some tips on how
to do this, but now you're out here just this religious talk.
Yeah.
But it's because it's because of that foundational thing that you need in order to believe in God, which is faith.
Yes.
Right. And it's not to say like you can have faith in other things. Right. But I think it's a different kind of thing where it's like you have faith in things that you can, maybe you don't have it yet, but you can see on earth. Yeah. You know, I have faith in my career because I've seen people succeed in careers.
Yeah.
Like, even though that isn't my current reality, and maybe I'm not winning Grammys.
Out here
like I have faith that I can win a Grammy because someone's won a Grammy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But it's like it's not the same. Like I have faith in God that exists, but I won't know until. I can't tell you guys about it. You know what I mean?
I can never prove it.
I can't prove it. Like, you know what I mean? I can't do that.
Yeah.
And there's in a lot of like I liken that in a lot of ways to the faith that I have in my success in this drive that we got going on. So it's like, how do you feel like your faith has been tested?
Oh, on multiple occasions. Even if we just talk about the first episode, hiatus. There was a lot of trials of
I was like
faith
nothing
there.
but tested.
Test.
Yeah.
HESPA in this thing.
For all of our out-of-state listeners and viewers, that's
yeah.
proprietary testing in high schools. I'm mad you remember that.
Yeah,
I'm like, you wouldn't go ace SATs, like, man.
No, we had to get specific.
No, that was specific.
No,
that was
very unique.
That was
testing.
regionally accredited.
Yes,
that was okay.
There was a specific portion of my life.
But like, so you've been tested a lot.
Yes,
obvious. Yes. Faith needs to be tested.
It has to be, and I think as a creative, we're constantly tested because we're going against the grain. We're constantly seeing things that aren't there.
Yeah.
As a creative, what do we say all the time? We're taking things out of thin
air,
and creating worlds.
Yeah.
You have to believe in things that aren't there yet.
Yeah.
To be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that, I think that's in a lot of ways our superpower. I think a lot of times, we as a whole, a lot of times people feel afraid of it because you can't see what's in front of you as far as the steps go. But just having that innate ability to be able to create something that isn't there, that didn't exist before, is genuinely your superpower. And if you tap into that as you go through your process in life, that'll help be the reason why you get to some of these things or some of these goals that you're leaning toward.
Yeah.
But yeah, how would you feel? How do you feel about that?
About being tested?
Yeah.
I think that I think it's a requirement. I think I'm constantly. I think in order for me to get the things that I want, the universe has to ask, "Do you really want it?" So in a lot of ways, it's like when. Like if I'm right before I'm about to do something big is usually when I deal with the most resistance. Right? So it's like right before, Dubai happened, there was a lot of resistance, a lot of figuring out like, oh, how is the book going to go? And me traveling overseas with it, come to find out I couldn't even take it with me. So I wasn't able to like recoup costs in that way. And like there was just a lot of things that was like, oh my goodness, like all these plans that I had and they weren't working out right. But in a lot of ways, it was like I feel like I had to believe that it was going to work.
Yeah.
That everything was going to work out in my favor and that it was going to be a successful mission, And it's like I can say that easily now, right?
Yeah.
But before it happened, it took a lot of faith, right? It took a lot of like, okay, I have to believe that this is going to work in my best advantage, And whatever, that it's not happening to me, it's happening for me.
Yes.
And I think that like in order for me to hold, like in order for me to be a creative entrepreneur, I have to have faith, and then it needs to be tested because I also need to confirm or spend these moments confirming, am I doing am I doing the best that I could do right now? Am I making the best decisions with the best data that I have available?
Yeah.
Right. And if I'm tested, that's when I'm able to question that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it's like, like let's say even this podcast, right? Because there are people who get tested, right? There are people who deal with deal with resistance, but they respond differently than we do.
Yeah.
Right? So we want to do this podcast. We want to set this stuff up. We got wires and connections and things that need to be hooked up or whatever the case may be, and we struggled to kind of put it together. But that was it's small for us.
Yeah.
But it was a test.
Yeah.
Because it's like we could have got to a point where it was like, oh, nah, we need this, fancy thing to work. We can't shoot it today. We need this thing.
We need the other wire.
Yeah, we need the other wire. We need it to look different. We need to have the tripod do the thing over here. And you know what I mean? But then it's like, that would have been such a that would have planted a seed in the direction of, well, what am I willing to do for the podcast? Because if what I'm willing to do is less, then the universe ain't gonna give it to me. Because then what's gonna happen? I'm not gonna shoot today.
Exactly.
We're gonna push it off, and we're gonna whatever. And that's like, it's an immediate response to the choices that you make.
Yeah. And the tests only grow as you continue to grow.
Yeah.
And
that's super small example, right? Because like to us, that's nothing. We're going to figure it out. We're going to, find it out, da-da-da-da.
But I've also been in worlds where I've heard that be the obstacle.
Like, oh, I didn't have this. Like, I didn't have that, or I couldn't do this, or I couldn't do that.
So that was the thing, huh? That's cool. We still
we just had to make sure we are.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I agree with you wholeheartedly. Tests are very important to see how far you're willing to go, but I think it's also important to be able to see the alternatives to your frame of thinking. Because when we come in here and we set up this podcast and we have an idea of how we're going to do the show, we are one streamline, that is one thing. We don't know until we get this show out into the world. We don't know how people respond to it. We don't know what they connect with.
We could have already been canceled.
Yes.
We could have said
3 or 4 things already. That's just, it's going to end it all. And that is the next test.
Yeah, exactly.
And then from there, we're figuring out, how to shift and move around. But I think that, testing your faith allow you the opportunity to see other parts of yourself. How do I handle crisis? How do I handle certain situations? How do I become more of a problem solver? How do I look at this situation from a different perspective? I think tests are a way of God allowing you to see your other. Opening you up to, expansion. Yeah. Because you're not willing to expand in an environment where you don't have to.
No.
Fish, if they're in tanks that are very small, they don't grow. Yep. Because it's not foundational. Like it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
I can't move around if I'm in this space, but you give a fish a pond and they're gonna grow. Yeah. Give them an ocean, they're gonna grow. Right? So I think looking at your faith from the perspective of it being tested is God just offering you the opportunity to expand. It's not him stifling you. It's not him putting things in your way. Yeah. It's, are you willing to grow and expand and become a bigger version of yourself? Yeah. Because you're gonna have to deal with these. You're gonna have to deal with these problems, and they grow. The problems grow with whatever thing that you're in, right? So it's like, are you capable? Are you capable? Are you willing? Are you dedicated enough? Yeah. In a lot of ways, I think I'm almost looking forward to problems. Yeah. Sometimes I see what you mean by that. Problems.
I see what you mean by that.
If I got that kind of problem, that mean I'm in that kind of place. Say
it again.
I want a little bit of those. If I got that kind of problem,
okay, now
I'm in that kind of place.
Ooh.
I gotta get one off every episode. I think that's gonna be my thing. I gotta get one off.
I'm telling you, the line of t-shirts is about to be crazy. These line of t-shirts about to be crazy.
Yes. No. Oh my God.
That's true. Because and recognizing those problems, like recognizing that like it takes you getting to that place in order for you to have that kind of problem is like in a way a bit you gotta be appreciative of that. You know what I mean?
You have to.
It's weird. It's what? I'm happy for my obstacle. I'm happy for you to come and like, disrupt my course of flow. But it's so necessary because it's like, as what we're doing when you are creative, and a creative could be anything. We're not just talking about artists, but people who create things. Like when you go from thought to physical, enter into physical dimension, whatever that is, whether it's like, a book, a painting, a pillowcase, cooking dinner, whatever. It went from a thought to like something that is like you brought into this like 3D world. Yeah. And it takes an immense amount of faith for you to be able to do that. Yeah. I'm glad that like we're having this conversation about God early on.
Oh yeah. Nah, you're gonna have to get to know us.
Yeah. I'm glad we're having this conversation early on, but like, because I was raised religious, right? I was raised religious. So I was raised like Pentecostal. Yeah. But like by no means do I subscribe to religion. Like I was raised Pentecostal, but I never like read the Bible before. Okay. Like from front to back. You ever read the Bible?
You know what's funny?
Did you? What?
Actually, no. I've never read the Bible. Okay. But like maybe a little under a month ago, I decided to listen to it on Audible.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I had time.
Oh wow.
Not a lot of time because the book on Audible is like 109 hours. So
oh wow.
I couldn't get into it, but I was listening to Genesis, and it was
Yeah, it was. You see, at least you started. Yeah.
I started. Yeah.
So are you gonna listen to it?
It's a.
How's the narrator?
We're approaching a very. It's only we only.
How's the narrator?
Narrator's interesting.
Oh, okay. Because who narrates an audiobook is extremely important. Extremely important. That makes a difference, right? But I haven't read the Bible. I thought about it because once I realized it, I think I realized it within like the last year. I was like, I haven't actually read it before. You know what I mean? Maybe I should check it out. I should check out what everybody's talking about. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I'm out here like I talk about God constantly. Yeah. I talk about God constantly. It shows up in so many of my conversations, and it's like, I feel like there's such a missing chunk there, I guess, for everyone in the world.
Yeah.
But like, why were you gonna make that face?
I'm gonna give us a second to pause and come right back.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're back. Got my refill.
Facts. I actually wanted to segue to what's actually so we have book recommendations, right, on the actual show, and it was crazy because I was about to mention a book. Now I think maybe it should be the book recommendation, but maybe we might recommend 2 books. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we both read Russ's book.
Yes.
Right. What do you remember the name of Russ's book? I don't. Maybe I might have to. I want to Google that. But the reason
I gotta get that down.
I got it. It's all in your head.
It's all in your head. There we go.
Yeah, it's all in your head. Get out of your way. So awesome book. I think I'm dressed like it right now, actually. So you can't miss it. Yeah. But the reason why I mentioned that book because one of the chapters was delusion.
Yeah.
Right. One of the chapters was delusion, and I thought it was so interesting because I never really put that word to what we were doing, because it's not like we thought about like mental colleague as delusional or or the fact that like you can get paid to quit your job as delusional. Yeah. Or all these things that we were chasing after, they didn't seem like.
It wasn't like far-fetched. It was kind of just a world that, we were in, and it's just like, all right, we're doing this, and then this is the next step, and that's the next step, and that's the next step. It was like just actions that we were taking because we believed in the thing that we were doing. Yeah. And to a lot of people, it's like, but how could you believe? How? You don't even know what's coming. I'm like, I don't know, but I like this right now. Yeah. I like this right now.
I like right now. I feel good right here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep going. That's what most people want, though.
Yeah.
Most people want,
the answer.
They want the answer.
Yeah.
They want the answer. Most people want to know what is coming. But that's not how faith works. That's not how faith works, right? In order for you to believe in this, you can't know. That's one of the prerequisites. Yeah. Right? Because if you knew, it wouldn't require faith.
Not at all.
It's like by its definition, it wouldn't be necessary. So that's why when I read that chapter on delusion, I thought it was so interesting because it's like you have to believe in a reality that does not exist. But it's like it doesn't exist not only to you, but to every other person who's about to view the content that you're creating.
Yeah.
So it's like you could be creating a bunch of content and now you don't got nobody viewing it. You don't got nobody liking it. You can go out to shows and you could perform and nobody's responding to the pieces that you got.
Yeah.
They could be like, there's a level where it's like, even in the face of other people, you have to believe that whatever you're doing is going to be worthwhile one day.
Yeah.
You know? And that takes delusion.
It does.
Like you can't live in reality. You can't be sane.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't be sane and do that. What?
I find it really crazy, the balance that we have. You know, we want so much of an answer when it comes to our future, but we don't like to plan for our future. Like the majority of the world, you know, in a lot of ways. I find that really strange. But two, one of the things that I think that I really enjoyed about that chapter was that, you know, one of the things he said is I never looked at the end result of what it is that I was doing. If I did, I probably would have quit.
Yeah.
Because if I knew it would have,
if I knew what it would, yeah.
I probably would have quit. But
Yeah.
he said, you know, I looked at every single thing I was doing in that moment as the greatest thing that I was doing at that moment. And I treated it like that, you know, and I think that it really speaks highly of, you know, faith in the process, you know, and I think that, you know, one of the things that we actually don't need to spend our time sitting in the future of is like, in those moments when you're in process, you know, in that thing that you're trying to do and build and create, be in process. You know, you can have, you know, ideas and goals and see a potential future for yourself, but like that, some of that blind faith lives in being here in that moment, in that process, and believing in everything that you're creating now, and also just constantly being inspired by that process of creativity, you know?
Yeah, let it fuel you.
Yeah.
Let it provide the energy back again.
Exactly, you know, and I think, you know, even down to, you know, this moment in creating this podcast, I think we were both giddy. just like I'm like, you hear yourself on the left, you hear me on the right. Yeah. All right, let's go. We good. We ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just like having that, and then also just, you know, just having that kid like energy behind the things that you're doing, that passion behind the things that you're doing, and allowing, you know, what you're creating to fuel it. Yeah.
If you're walking in your purpose,
yes,
right, if you're walking in the things that just like make you feel abundant, or even in its simplest form, anything that puts energy back into you, like if you do something and at the end of it you feel energized, you feel like it gave you life, then it's like that's the step of following that faith.
Yes.
Like that, like follow that. You know what I mean? Have faith that whatever signals your body is sending you, if you're resisting against something, listen to it.
Yeah.
If you're like really interested in doing something, listen to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Walk closer towards that direction, and then you get closer towards, you know, feeling like you can start achieving whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
You know? Because it's like, it's not just having faith in God or not just having faith in your vision, but it's also having faith in yourself.
Yes.
Having faith in yourself. And that's something that like you can start to develop, right? Because you gotta get all of them, right? To kind of like get to the trifecta here, right? Yeah. But like when you start going out on the edge, when you start doing things where it's like you're gonna test it, you're gonna be like, yo, I'm going to go after that thing that doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it really makes me happy. Yeah. I'm gonna go after it a little bit, and I'm gonna get positive feedback or negative feedback, and I'm gonna keep pushing forward. Yeah. You know, and it's like when you get past that negative feedback, push forward, you're building faith in yourself to get through difficult things. And the more faith that you have in yourself, the higher you increase your self-confidence. And then the more you're capable of dealing with the bigger obstacles when they present themselves, you know?
100%.
So it's just starting off small.
100%.
Starting off small. So I think Russ's book is super, super great. Yeah. That's going to be our book recommendation.
That's the book recommendation.
That is going to be our book recommendation.
Cool. Yeah, you know what? And it's a easy read, smooth read. I think it's a nice book where you could, like, if you need it, open up the page and just see which one hit.
Yeah,
see which one hit.
See wherever it lands.
Definitely a good read, especially for creatives.
I actually read that book.
Yeah.
I actually physically read that book. Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you.
Me too. Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Russ. I
think I read yours, and then I grabbed mine.
Yeah. Yeah. So I actually physically read that book. That was a really it was a really quick read. So for anyone who just wants to get a little bit of motivation, a little bit of push, and we really hope that was helpful to at least like understanding our relationship with faith, why it's so important to us. Is it?
No, I'm good. I was looking at this.
Okay, yeah.
All right, cool.
And just making sure that it's good with us. But yeah. So we also want to make sure we take this time to do our shout out segment.
Yeah.
Shout out. Yeah. But when you say it together, it sounds like almost like a tongue twister. I'm gonna do that a lot. We're gonna keep like that in though. But our shout out segment, because we want to shout out Hidden Gems Literary Emporium.
Yes.
Your community nonprofit bookstore located in New Brunswick.
Yes.
We want to shout you guys out because we do book recommendations, right? Yes. So if you are in the local area, right, they are a nonprofit bookstore, so you can actually go there, and there's a ton of books and really, really awesome people over there.
Yes.
Ray and Kyla over there, Truth, Wisdom, the whole crew.
Oh yeah, the whole family.
Yeah, the whole crew.
Family.
They're located in New Brunswick, but you can find them on Instagram, Hidden Gems Literary Emporium. We are actually going to put their details in the description and in the show notes, so you can check them out because they do really, really awesome work in the community. I think they have like a back to school drive coming up where they're going to be giving out backpacks and
they've been doing
notebooks,
tours, book tours,
the book tour,
giving away books,
the book
across
tour,
the nation.
Every single summer.
Beautiful.
They do a 1,000 book tour where they go from like the top of the America to like Florida. You know what I mean? And they give away books all along the way to increase childhood literacy, to increase literacy among Americans. So I think it's super, super awesome.
Yeah, they're doing really, really great work. You can, like you said, we can follow them. We'll have that down in the show notes, and also donate as well if you can. Like I said, they're really helping out the community, and the best we can do is give back.
Yeah. So we love you out there.
Love y'all.
So to wrap up the show, we got the 3 B's coming up.
All right.
So every single episode, we always talk about the 3 things that we're going to do for our brain, our body, and our business. Right. I'm gonna go with business first because my business has stayed the same.
Okay.
We got to get these podcast episodes out.
Oh yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Now we got the taste buds of the population tantalizing. You know what I mean? So just knocking out like a lot of the like design work and stuff like that for the podcast, and just kind of like seeing how it shapes out, I think is going to be my focus. Body, I'm trying still staying strong. You know what I mean? The workout every single day. But I'm interested in doing kickboxing again. Ooh. I was doing kickboxing for a period of time, but I think I want to switch it up. Because I've been doing like cardio and like, going to the gym, but I think I want to do kickboxing. So gonna add that into the routine. And then for the brain, we're starting a new book. We're going to start a new book. And then that book I'm going to probably save for a recommendation on this podcast. So
okay. All right. I like that.
That's going to be my 3 B's. What are you going to be doing for your brain, your body, and
brain,
business?
Body, business?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go with the brain. As always, starting a new book. I've also been really interested in financial literacy. I've been really getting into like, my money and understanding it. So I think as a part of my brain work, just keeping a track of my finances and, seeing how I spend my money. Maybe we'll share some of that as well.
Yeah.
And the process of budgeting and things like that.
Yeah.
I think for the body, while we still have a few summer days, I want to spend some time outside. So trying to find some new hiking trails. Definitely gonna take a hike sometime this week. And for the business, I think we're looking into some like digital marketing strategy in terms of the pod, see where we want to take this and how we're going to continue to build it out.
Yeah. So you sound like you have an intense week ahead. an intense week ahead, but at least you know, a lot of peace, you know, being out in the hiking trails. I can show you some hiking trails too.
Oh yeah,
I got some more.
Send them my way.
We should have like a community hiking, you know what I mean, with any of the listeners or something like that, because we're in the trees all the time.
I'm trying to do these walking talks.
Yeah, walking talks. We're see, look, we're unfolding as we
saying, like
we're unfolding. If you'd be interested in a walking talk, go ahead and leave a comment on YouTube or Instagram. 5 stars on any place that you listen to podcasts. But
yes,
what are you guys going to be doing this week to do something for the 3Bs? What are you doing for your brain, your body, your business, your brand? What's going on here? What are you gonna do so that you can become a better version of yourself?
Yes. Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with a friend. You know, somebody might have needed to hear this today. Somebody, you know, who needs a little faith in their life.
Just a little bit.
Really
appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Yeah.
Peace.
We're out.
Yeah, this is the life that we chose. All about goals, all about getting the go. Pedal the metal, we drove. Head to the heels, I wanna give me a bow. 2020 be the vision, depicted the growth. Before I could get on the road, look at the level she rose. Cheddar.